been trapped by the doctor. But we've all... So much time has already passed since then. And it seems Sumeru's changing for the better now that Nahita's in charge. Paimon just hopes this peace will last a long time. And then Nahita won't have any more new problems to... Yeah, guess you're right. But somehow, come to think of it, maybe it's all because of you. Maybe you're just a magnet for trouble. Huh? Me? Before Paimon ran into you, Paimon never ran into any trouble. At most, when she was super tired, Paimon got caught in some strange... Anyway, for Nahita's sake, maybe we...
Ah, look who it is. Running into you in a place like this? I can see you two still love wandering around.
Oh, it's Dia! Since when are we just wandering around? But never mind that. What brings you here?
I just finished a commission in the desert for a usual client of mine. That's when I saw you two all the way over there, chatting away. What were you... Huh? You serious? Can't say I saw that coming. But you are bumping into you like this will become a rarity. Hey, how about I gather a few mercs to escort you two?
Thanks, but no need. Oh, Paimon had no clue you'd miss us so much. But don't worry.
Sounds good. All you need to do to get to Fontaine is cross this stretch of desert and navigate some waterways. Knowing you two, I'm sure it won't. So, when are you leaving?
Oh, wait a sec. Paimon just remembered there are still a few dishes.
I see. Guess you won't be needing a going-away party or anything. Though, now that I think about it, Sumeru wouldn't be what it is today without you. Seems true heroes...
By the way, should we go say bye to Nahita? Oh, good point. Then there's no need to bother her in the real...
Then, I guess this is goodbye for now, Traveler and Paimon.
Goodbye, Dia. Bye-bye, Sumeru. All that sand and water, we finally made it! Oh, this must be Fontaine's port! Wow! Everything looks so advanced in Fontaine! Paimon's heard that the industry here is extreme. Just seeing the sights as a tourist is nice, but maybe it would be better if we found something... What do you think? Good idea! Nahita gave us loads. Seeking out the Seven is probably still our best source for information at this point. Yeah! The more we... So, what do you think the Hydro Archon's like? Will we get along? Nahita said that... To learn about a nation's god, start with the nation's people. There seems to be some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the party.
if you ask me, it's a tragedy how things ended for him.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him. I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but it's a pity that it never...
Excuse me. Can I help you two? I couldn't help but notice you...
Hi. We're travelers new to Fontaine, and we...
Play? Oh, no. We're talking about something that really happened. In fact, it's a...
Really? Like, a real trial? But the way you were talking about it and the words you used just now...
Well, good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act, while whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is... Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know that the Fontaine Court of Justice is called the Opera Epiclese, or more commonly known as just the Opera House.
But, shouldn't court cases be treated a little more seriously than that? Not to question Fontaine's way of doing things.
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. And as for your worries about whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolutely just and honorable Chief Justice Navia, as well as the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the Archon. Between the machine and the Chief Justice, false charges and
Oratrice? Is it some kind of machine, too? Oh, Paimon's curious. Wait, Paimon almost forgot to ask you our question. Do you know what we should do if we want to meet the Hydra?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Furina practically lives there. You could definitely say it's her biggest pet.
I think what they mean is that they wish to speak with the Archon person. In that case, I'm afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult. You'll have to make an appointment well in advance.
Is the Hydro Archon...
No. Lady Furina seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason it's difficult to make an appointment.
That's right. After all, she is the Archon. Though she may tend to get a little dramatic from time to time, people...
First time Paimon's ever heard of an Archon being described to have... Wait! Paimon gets now! The Hydro Archon is...
Yeah, I suppose you could say that.
Hang on. This is still Fontaine's Archon you're talking about.
Yes, you're right. I guess I should at least try to be a little more respectful in front of visitors. Otherwise, I might get arrested and find myself
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of laws here, but nobody's going to be arrested for saying some...
All right, I think we get it. Thank you! At least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon, but who knows how long making an appointment will take. Hey! What are you looking over there for? Maybe something's the matter. She isn't going to jump into the water, is she? Maybe we better go check on her. Hello there.
Huh? I'm fine.
Oh, okay then.
About many things, actually. But there's nothing I can... I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids. It was just atop that hill.
You're pointing at the sea. Wait, are you saying that you and your brother lived in the water?
No people call the waters around Fontaine a sea. It's actually just an inland lake that's filled with fresh water. And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. Now, he would skip and jump, tossing sand in the wind. The sun shone brightly, and the air was filled with this. But now, the water is gradually swallowing our memories. It won't be long before it swallows us.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh, and you...
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. There's no need for any concern. Oh, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lyney, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from...
Nice to meet you! Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fun. We were just talking with your sister. Even though we...
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she seldom speaks at all. I'm usually the only one she ever talks to.
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us! Paimon's always the one talking for some reason. So that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
Seems...
So, what did Lynette mean just now when she said that the water is engulfing your memories?
Oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's been circulating in Fontaine. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. Where to begin? Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't...
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Hello, Traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake? You're not poking fun at Paimon, are you?
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have here in...
Oh, all right then. By the way, we were just getting ready to go to the Opera House to meet the Hydro...
So you're going to see Lady Furina? No problem at all. In fact, I was planning to go to the Opera House later myself. I'll gladly take you once I finish things here. Please, follow me. You said you were going to see Lady Furina? Well, it seems...
So, she's the Hydroarch?
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration. If you don't have one, then just... As you can all see, two unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation. Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and his companion who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Is she talking about us?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you've left in your wake as you visited other nations, but I welcome you nevertheless. No, I have come to receive you personally. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless wariness. You can be rest assured. I see of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my power and witness. I, Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip.
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like we've only been here for a few minutes. But the Hydroarchon's entrance was, Hushabab. Miss Hydroarch?
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding.
Don't forget that even the gods can be You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to communicate with a god? All it takes is a flick of my finger for me to know everything about...
Whoa. Talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming ceremony...
Is she waiting for...
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Furina here. Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler? How did I not notice before?
Hey, what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Furina?
Of course. That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about. Lady Furina came here to personally see him. Oh, I bet this is gonna be the duel of the century.
Ooh, I've got to see this.
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators alike tend to get quite rowdy. And despite the noise, you may consider this my reward to all of you. I have...
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Are you not afraid? Might I remind you that...
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Stand down, Clorend. I admire his bravery. Few have the courage to draw their sword against a god. Unfortunately, people nowadays only crave to be thrilled.
Huh. Yeah, she's right. Just a duel wouldn't be all that interesting.
On Erinnyes, criminals are always requesting duels to...
You see. Then, as the god of justice...
Whoa,
Right. This is Fontaine, after all. Such a grand...
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've... Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on...
Oh, according to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month.
Oh, so that's what they've done wrong. That's...
You call that obvious? What kind of what?
Precisely! Now, if you two have no objections, then...
My apologies, Lady Furina. I don't mean to spoil the fun. I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition.
You tell her, Lyney! Finally someone who's not crazy.
Ah, great magician Lyney, my beloved citizen.
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the responsibility of saving the show. So, with such an audience gathered here, allow me to perform a trick for everyone.
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did you do that?
There. As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Huh? You call that magic? You've got to...
I thought...
Huh. I'm not sure what to think.
Amusing. Very amusing, Lyney.
Performance? You see all this as a
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. But when there are valid grounds, I will not only judge travelers from abroad, but even the gods of other... I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Lyney. And...
future, Paimon. Dad...
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation, just in case. I didn't think it would actually come in handy. So, now do you see what kind of god...
She can be a bit confusing at times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Lyney. It sounded like you'll be performing at the opera house.
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. Lynette is... It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine.
But isn't the opera house where criminals...
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this opportunity gifted by fate. Might I invite the two of...
My brother's always excited to make new...
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now.
Splendid. In that case, why don't we go together? I'll show you the way. I just have... Oh, you really mean it? Then I'll take you up on your offer. This is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you could...
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that... I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine. It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine...
That sounds pretty gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine born...
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors of Fontaine stole the power of the... Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia. But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of these claims, so they can only be regarded as
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed, wouldn't it be better just to ignore...
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine have actually started rising.
Many places have already been completely submerged.
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I think that the people of Fontaine shouldn't ignore the possibility, which would end up sentencing them to death. We hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. As a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing capacity.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It's like preparing for a rainy day...
Perhaps only absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe. Now, if you'd like to help, then please give these magic pockets to anyone nearby. Be sure to convince them to take it, regardless.
So you're the blonde traveler. Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of... Thanks. Please, also thank the magician.
What's this? So you also believe in the prophecy?
What? You mean you d...
No, I believe in the prophecy. But the story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with the ocean, but as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating the sea within their bodies. Thus could people set... So, if you ask me, when the water rises and takes us all, it'll be like...
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before. But people can't...
All right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that being dissolved in...
I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, it's still gonna be a long time before the water can cover it. Life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future all the time? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
You should still take it. You never...
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that if I start moving...
Oh? You already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. Yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to help them prepare.
Is there anything else you need to do before we...
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the Court of Fontaine. Since we're out and about, I was thinking about bringing...
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell us what the materials look like.
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some Romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them near the waterfront on the...
It seems we have to use water to collect Romaritime flowers.
There's still a long road ahead. You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler. Maybe next time you'll feel like helping too.
No way. I'm in power-saving mode today. Otherwise, I fear I may not have any energy left for the performance at the Opera House.
Fine. Though the performance is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here, we should get ready to head back to the Court of Fontaine.
So, we're going to the Court of Fontaine before we head to the Opera House?
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her?
She's magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted audience is one that won't watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh! Keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she tries to... All right.
where Lyney wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also be trying to lure us away. Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Lyney caught the thief. Yeah, let's go.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing anything.
No, that was all. Oh, anyway, I should...
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. But
I saw the general direction she went, but Lyney twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure he was okay.
Oh, did you get...
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if you managed to derail our performance as a result.
You're right, you're right. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had, but at least we were able to get the stolen items back.
What a slippery little thief. Guess things...
All right, let's put this...
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get around. People...
This is an aquabus. It allows people to travel between several key locations around Fontaine. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while.
So you mean it's still boring, even when I'm riding with you?
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't really talk that much. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us.
What?
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave.
Huh?
What? Traveler! Paimon!
Charlotte!
Oh, I never guessed I'd bump into you while riding the aquabus. In the story of my life, this is big news. What are you doing in Fontaine? I didn't hear anything about you paying us a visit.
Yeah, it's quite the coincidence. But as travelers, we're always on the move. It's not surprising that nobody knew we were coming. Though we still have no idea how the Hydro Archon knew about us. Oh, let Paimon introduce you to our new friends.
Oh, no need for introductions, Paimon. I would recognize the great magician Lyney and his assistant Lynette anywhere. I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who they were. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your...
It's an honor to meet you.
Now that everyone knows each other, Fontaine suddenly doesn't feel like such an unfamiliar... So, what have you been up to lately, Charlotte? Any big news?
Not too much. When there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials. You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle, even if it's the same old topics. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. Ah, you're right. Seems you know me pretty well. What I'm really after is exclusive, sensational... Oh, I just remembered. I've been following following a case lately. Well, a series of cases, actually.
You mean the serial disappearances of young women?
That's right! These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably if I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked. And it's when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials.
So, what is the serial disappearances of young...
That's right. The first missing girl case happened almost 20 years ago. And ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common is that the girls are all of a similar age, and that they've all vanished without a trace. But the scariest part is that to this day, none of the girls have ever... Many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some precise truth behind it.
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls deserves some sort of I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way...
Please don't imagine that, Lyney.
Hey, we're almost there! Look!
Well, I really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be...
Yeah, us as well. The ride went by too quickly.
I have an interview to get to.
Okay, Paimon hopes we can chat again soon, Charlie.
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the Steambird when you have time.
What a tough job. Always running around and...
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first?
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge. Paimon...
Whatever would you do without me?
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go?
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler.
Lyney, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little... Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pockets.
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials. I was about to give them to you.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work. All right, I'll take...
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago?
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House, but don't worry, it'll clear up soon.
What's wrong, Fremen?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went. Every time when I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top of my lung. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could at least play along.
Sorry. It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. It rained for longer than I suspected.
Was there something you needed to do, Lyney?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. On the day of the performance, just ride the aquabus to the island of Erinnyes. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Oh, are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help us take these materials to the Beaumont Workshop and deliver... I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted. And the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a little afraid of her.
No trouble at all.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such tasks.
Oh, no need. Hello?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or...
Oh, no. We're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are.
These must be for magic pockets. I could tell right away. I've already... No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even... But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run.
Wow. So...
I can't say for sure, but...
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff here?
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology, and wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get its power from?
Well, it's so little, but basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium, It's a type of energy that's produced from
Huh? How can trials
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details. When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the Oratrice was created by the Archon to but Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power? Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy.
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, besides Indemnitium, we have another type of energy called Pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already
You again! Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next—
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait.
Huh?
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop.
Hey, hold on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month. Why are you hound?
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too. What are you doing here in Fontaine?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now. And honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting.
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends? Listen to me, boy. If you want—
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tony—
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients. You're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm sure this won't take long.
Yeah! Brace yourself! This is gonna hurt! Yeah!
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank?
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe—
Strange. How could that happen? First time Paimon's ever heard of some—
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much—
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? And don't say it's work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself, but recently—
Maybe you losing control—
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me, she was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me.
But what is it?
She never explained that. But my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just... In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was...
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that...
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves, so why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching, but it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like some kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world tend to be elusive like that. Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you.
What? More work for the Northland?
And no, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine...
Official champion duelists? You mean...
Yep, in Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official The champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the so engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stay. And the worst case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those...
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I... Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clarende, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally...
Well, that's child for ya.
Oh, before I forget, I want...
Huh?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel, so I think I'll be better off without it for... Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while.
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't you?
Whatever gave you that idea?
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever. Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well walk around and see the city before Lyney's... Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story would... sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai Publishing House. Both have their merits, but Paimon thinks it's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading. You should buy it. Oh, sorry about that. Paimon will be... hey, shouldn't we be heading to the Opera House to see Lyney's performance soon? Lyney said that the Opera House is on Erinnyes, so let's go ride the aquabus!
What do you want from me? Let me alone?
Welcome to the Navia line. I am Elfan. The boat will be departing imminently. Please do not stick your head, hands, or other body parts outside the boat. The aquabus operator is not responsible for any accidents or injuries resulting from doing so. Also, please remember to buy the Steambird, though I don't read it myself. The destination of the current tour is Erinnyes. Points of interest worth visiting include the Fountain of Lucine and the Opera Epiclese. If you look to the left in the direction we are currently traveling, you will see the famous Fontaine Research Institute up in the sky. An experiment gone wrong turned new sightseeing opportunity. Human ingenuity truly is a wondrous thing. We are now approaching our final destination. Please be sure to bring all your personal belongings with you as you disembark. Even though I will take any forgotten items to the lost and found, the paperwork is rather annoying, as notes and hands are not suitable for grasping pens. Please be careful when disembarking. It has been my honor to be your tour guide this trip. Thank you.
Let the wind lead.
A walk would be nice.
of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and...
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything.
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. Lyney asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon,
I see. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element.
It's because of his sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing of...
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what?
Just answer me. When
Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when...
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense... Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the... So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? If you were hearing their emotions, then Paimon wonders what happened to them.
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance.
Oh, right.
Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world. We've been looking forward to it.
I can tell, but you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the... The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here are your tickets.
Ooh, front row seats! Thanks!
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Lyney! Could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Lyney. Oh, these should be our seats. Come. Hey, traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. So, you little... Of course you put this on
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Wait, that's not it, Paimon's. Sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of—
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Lyney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Lyney, then. Oh, this is getting more awkward. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Teyvat. And as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Lyney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait.
Hmm? I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and—
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so... And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to, there's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite... I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later, otherwise she may become...
Huh? Oh, it's Furina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she—
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro—
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Oh, they're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry.
Welcome, one and all, to the opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Lyney. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a...
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but...
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Huh?
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear?
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been...
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe it.
Thank you everyone. But our magical journey has only just begun. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all... So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience. Please, if my assistants could bring... There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention.
Wow! How's he gonna... Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks? Or does Lyney have action?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as You don't need to do anything, but no matter what, if the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up. You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Merope.
Oh.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all get like this? 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll...
Ooh, Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 50...
60, 59, 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you...
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting, Neverlet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about...
Oh, all right. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable. 40, 39, 38!
Mr. Lyney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example...
Even though he's saying that, Lyney doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, this... 25!
What's wrong, Mr. Lyney?
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect.
19! 18! 17!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of...
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
Is this part of the show? Mr. Lyney, you're going to use magic.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was...
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the god.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Lyney's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caught. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl... It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial disappearances case?
Charlotte mentioned before.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lyney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
Oh, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a That
can't be right! He was in the box on the stage the entire time! Wait, besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearance!
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Furina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Lyney and his associates, and that you...
Huh? I just think that he... Well, I think it...
But what Lady Furina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally...
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what That's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Lyney, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped... Then there's no problem at all. You know, the trap that with Lyney's help, our little duel ended in a draw. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true...
It wasn't a draw.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed. And as... Well, Traveler, seems Lady Furina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like... Are you willing to act as Mr. Lyney's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Lyney and his troop are all potential suspects, and the audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big-shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time.
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Kel. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer? I understand. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an... As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off and...
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't, but with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did...
Oh, well... I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Lyney.
I suppose you're right. The truth be... 'tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic shows a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort but if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind we should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards and
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still... Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
Ah, I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Furina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Huh? What do you...
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Lyney's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troop long, he was hardworking and everyone... The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a... If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Lyney is the most...
But he doesn't have a motive!
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but...
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince... I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence. Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his...
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Lyney and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number select?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a talk.
Lyney used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or... In other words, Lyney knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Lyney reserved our seats for us, too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Lyney.
Even though it's bad for Lyney's case, So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it... Wait! Why don't you write all this down? Let's take notes! Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand. This rope was obviously tampered with. People needed to register and reserve. Why would it be him?
This location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered prime suspects. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The Magic Troop members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all, which matches the features of the previous serial...
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact. It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
I see that you're investigating the area. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me.
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first?
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the...
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lyney's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the...
that makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lyney's accomplice, Lynette perhaps, jumping atop the water tank, and when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true.
That does remind Paimon, though.
Lyney's still talking to the guards. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us. Lyney's still talking to the guard. I think someone will be assigned to monitor.
over here. I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it...
Well, you're right on the moor about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it. Spina di and I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus, Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What can...
Well, I am the second-generation president. Melus and the others are still used to my...
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's. Judging from the look of things, I find Lyney an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition. Furina sure was quick to point the finger at Lyney without any decisive evidence whatsoever. But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Furina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro...
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her... All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute! Did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry. You won't hear any pointless questions. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well...
And why would that be? See, Silver and Melus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I, too, think that the Traveler's response was most... No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, and if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Melus. Anyway, I like your answer. You passed with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence.
Wait! Since when did we become assistant?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant, sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fun.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to...
You have a point. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Lyney's trick.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with...
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Lyney and Lynette as attorneys, so were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Lyney's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. We checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Lyney's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Understood. Then I will be going with you.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping investigate. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join us?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform.
Weren't there balloons and other decorations here?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the inside of the door?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sick. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark.
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting.
That's how we were able to coordinate Lyney's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you revealed...
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand...
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this mat... Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more
This is the scene of the crime, so Lyney and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Oh! Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and here's a broken vase.
That can't be. The trolley moves along track.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is,
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective and... What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been...
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, this space...
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up. ascertain the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't...
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal...
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was...
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see in novel!
The plot thickens. Halsey's No wonder Furina was so confident in her accusation. All the current...
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll...
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, that's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected. To put it simply, it's as if the oratrice has its own will, and is a...
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. Not that this is...
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the oratrice will be consulted by officials. The resultant return...
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Novelet called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is why people have great faith. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties. Or that we might... And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said...
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that Kate...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous... I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all. Just kidding! Paimon will...
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks.
Huh?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself, beating...
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty, beating egg whites and baking like...
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. Anyway, give these a try. Fresh.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head.
Tea is ready to be served as well. There's no need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
All right, then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Lyney and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal, the magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any...
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was...
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of... Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this but the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl...
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire... Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not... From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great!
They are my specialty after all. And I...
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest!
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually...
No! Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. Malus, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't...
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almond.
Well,
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the... I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right, thanks for your help, and for the...
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
All right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got... The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lyney and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Furina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be...
No. We're already very grateful that you were...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Lyney explain the
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Lyney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick...
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Furina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lyney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at...
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the...
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically every...
Huh?
Hey, hang on!
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to... Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my... Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Lyney! Why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Lyney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Furina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please answer my question.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Lyney's defense even after knowing what you do now? In that case, my dear audience...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah. So
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's...
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
right now, we want to save people.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more— Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no
Sorry. Please.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no...
Of course. I'll answer any— We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. During our investigations, we learned that from that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the object—
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this—
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, which should have been impossible, of course, I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred—
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized—
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against... If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a serious... Huh?
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Lyney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Furina as fact. Therefore, Lady Furina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Lyney's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that finally he used the vase to knock her out before making her change clothes to prevent. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise. So Lyney proceeded to knock him out too before afterward. Lyney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would... And there you have it. That's the truth behind what
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady...
The key to refuting Lady Furina is the order of events. According to Lyney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with... Seems... Lyney went to the room that contained... Lyney did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Lyney didn't, but he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground... Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt the crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of...
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't... Assuming that what you say is true, Lyney only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case.
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that That's why they're partners of mine. They've managed.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? You're saying that he wasn't?
That's right! Lyney wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear any. This means that when the crime happened, Lyney had already entered the basement. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best
Well, to think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lyney who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility? Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant.
That can't be right. The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased.
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lyney as well. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so the sound we heard may have come from... The deceased's name is Cowell. No one entered or left the Opera House through it. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the... It would have been tough for both The deceased's name is... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between... No one entered or left. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that... It would have been tough for both... Halsey's clothing was in the... No one entered or left. The sound we heard may have come from a clash, but... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that... No one entered or... It would have been tough for... No one entered or...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I...
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different for...
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very... And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know...
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient?
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our crimp... The sound we heard may have come from a The deceased's name is Cowl. The vase was not broken by chance.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where...
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality. Must we really? Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirect.
Even so, I trust the The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowl.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowl's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are...
the primordial seed.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowl belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appeared. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of... As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just...
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? Wait just a minute. Could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just...
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Lyney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordials.
The deceased's name is Cowell. The water from the primordial sea Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire... I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that... The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box. The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to... Now it seems like the hook rope... The water from the primordial... The rope that held the water... Lynette was in the magic box. I remember there was something else. The rope that held the water... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire... Now it seems like the hook... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she... I remember there was something else...
It's Ace Detective Paimon's in the original plan. Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he met.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the...
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely...
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to this.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage and we found an identical sample of the water from...
What?
That can't be. Does this not clear all my dear citizens, my loyal audience? Lyney did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caught that upon his return in cruel avarice. Lyney desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up all. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem. Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collect. Is this the end of the...
Oh no! Paimon can't think of it. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
I think we've all seen enough now, and I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must...
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to respect the...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh. Right, what in the world is...
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth, but once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvel... Come on, Lyney and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance.
I understand.
And voila!
Sorry.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So, the whole thing about people dissolving was...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it...
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin?
What?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Lyney's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there, and I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lyney was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Lyney even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costume. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be
Well, that makes everything pretty clear.
This time, we need to tell the entire... The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt. The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but it was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biting.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian, her panic only intensified. Hearing the commotion, he did not know that Lillian was mistakenly believing that the two broke the flower vase during the struggle. But Lillian, with no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended. She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So,
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole... Bravo!
Now then, Lady Furina. Please answer the question, Lady Furina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I...
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments.
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowl, selected his next victim from the audience reservation. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman, to cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowl thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermark. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to set. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowl entered the tunnel and met Lillian, thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until... As for Lyney, he was in the underground structures within the Opera House, and was the... From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Lyney, the accused, is in fact...
Hooray, Lyney and Lynette! Amazing!
While there is much in Lyney and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Lyney and Lynette.
Victory for Ace Detective Paimon!
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in...
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that...
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Lyney, but you, yes?
I'm
sure you know what you must do to lessen...
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Lyney, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into... We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Lyney...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plainly. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like... That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
It took a while for me to realize. Just after one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant...
Oh no. But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
So, she'd already taken care of...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even Father, the Knave, might have seen something in me, and the House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, I was hesitant to trust her. I had just been... But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first.
So that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break.
So, she believes in that.
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the house, I have never stopped making. If you should need anything at all in the future.
Bye, Lyney.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the—
I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Oh, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to—
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, anyway, it would just be a meal.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm if Boss Navia's treating—
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the Court of Fontaine?
All right, then. Let's have our